Simon & Schuster Audio presents The Eldest Curses 2, The Lost Book of the White, by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. Read by B.D. Wong.
And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Jude 1:6. Prologue. Idris, 2007. It was not quite dawn when Magnus Bane rode into the low clearing with death on his mind. He rarely came to Idris these days. That many Shadowhunters close together made him nervous, but he had to admit that the angel had picked a pretty spot for the Nephilim's home. The air was alpine and fresh, cold and clean. Pines shuffled affably against one another on the banks of the valley. Idris could be intense at times, gloomy and gothic and full of foreboding, but this pocket of it felt like something from a German fairy tale. Perhaps that was why, despite all the Shadowhunters everywhere, his friend Ragnar Fell had built his house here. Ragnar was not a cheerful person, but he had unaccountably built a cheerful house. It was a squat stone cottage, sharply gabled in rye straw thatch. Magnus knew perfectly well that Ragnar had teleported the thatch directly from a tavern in North Yorkshire, to the consternation of its guests. As he trotted his horse down to the valley floor, he felt the troubles of the present fade. At the top of the valley, everything was terrible. Valentine Morgenstern was working very hard to start the war he wanted, and Magnus was so much more wrapped up in it than he would have wished. There was this boy, though, with these very hard-to-describe blue eyes. For a moment, though, it would just be Magnus and Ragnar again, as it had been so many times before. Then he would have to deal with the world and its problems, which would be arriving shortly in the form of Clary Fairchild. He left the horse behind the house and tried the front door, which was unlocked and swung open at his light touch.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?